Hey folks, Mule Fitness, thanks so much for buying my book. And if you haven't bought one, it's available on Amazon. So we're here with Juan today, and we're wearing red, folks, so we're gonna get strong. We're talking about strength and hypertrophy, meaning getting bigger. So in our journey, we've gone through the blue, movement preparation. We've gone through the green, we've gotten country strong, but now we're gonna do more traditional weightlifting like you would see in a gym, and we're gonna get bigger with machines.
Look up.
So with that, we're gonna hit it in our first exercise. Push-ups, horizontal push. Easy, right? So we're gonna have Juan just give us 12 push-ups. When in doubt, folks, do 2 sets of 12. Here we go, just do 12 push-ups for us, Juan. And he's just gonna pound these babies out. Juan's a strong guy. Lifts weights for a living, so here we go. He just pops out 12 push-ups here, okay? Now, we're gonna make this more interesting, folks, and more challenging. So, in our 12, what if we broke it down into 3 sets of 4? And in each set of 4, we're gonna do a count. How many ways can we count to 4? Well, 1 plus 3 equals 4, 2 plus 2 equals 4, and then 3 plus 1 equals 4. So, we're gonna do these different speeds in his push-up. Okay, Juan, so maybe just kind of go this way for me so we can see you from a different angle. So on the first one, 1, 3, I'm gonna have him drop and hold on 1. So go ahead, drop and hold, boom, and come up on 3. Do that 4 times, Juan. 1, 2, 3, drop and hold. 1, 2, 3, drop and hold. 1, 2, 3, fourth one, drop and hold. 1. Now it's going to be 2, 2, 2, 2, folks. So down for 2, and up for 2, and down for 2, and up for 2, and down for 2, and up for 2, and down for 2, and up for 2. Now it's slow, slow, slow. Pop up. Slow, slow, slow. Pop up, slow, 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 pop up, and slow, 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 pop up. How are those 12, Juan?
Hard.
Hard, okay? Do that 2 sets of those, folks, and there's your 2 sets of 12, and you're gonna get stronger. And we had Siri talking to us, and she wanted to join. So there we have it. Incline dumbbell press, another horizontal push pattern. That's in our first block. And now we're going to see Juan grab his dumbbells. He's got about 35 pounds there. And he's going to, normally folks, if you've got a client, you can just hand them the dumbbells. But what if you're alone? How do you get those darn things in the start position? So Juan's going to do his version where he kind of puts them on his thighs. And then he kind of kicks them up there as he goes back. All right? That's one way to do it. That's perfectly fine. Another way to do it that I kind of like is that we just kind of swing them, get a little momentum, and as you swing them, boom, just go right on back. So now you're set. So Juan's just going to give us, again, when in doubt, do 2 sets of 12. Give us 2 sets of 12 here. Actually just 1 set. And that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, that's a nice set one. Okay. You can put them down if you want. Take a little breather. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to modify that a little bit. I'm going to show you how to kind of, if it's getting heavy for them, you might have to spot them. We're going to show you how to spot. And when we do that, we might want to push them all the way up and just kind of gently tap the heads of the dumbbells together. And why that? I just want to kind of get a little more cut on this head of the pec. All right? Why not? So Juan, just go back and we're going to come on up. And then how to spot. You don't spot down here, folks. You spot at the wrists. So go ahead, Juan. Just go ahead and do it. Of course, he's got these. And that's for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Very nice. That's all there is to it. Dumbbells. And we could do that crazy 1, 3, 2, 2, 3, 1 pattern again for our 2 sets of 12, and that'd make it really hard, right? But just 2 sets of 12, we're looking good. Dumbbell Goblet Squat. Well, we're going to have Juan go pick over his dumbbell that he would like to use. And notice in the basic strength patterns, folks, we're going from the top left block and then we go to the block right under it, which kind of implies legs. So if we do like upper body, lower body, so the pattern is set up in this really kind of nice sequence where you can give body parts a rest if you do that. So what we're going to do is we're just going to have Juan go on down, and I'd like to have him touch the top of his elbows to his thighs when he does his goblet squat. Okay, so here we go. Go ahead, Juan. So I don't want him to really land on the bench. I want him to just hinge, but touch those elbows, Juan, if you can, to the top of your thighs. And that's where you're going to find your depth as you go down. There we go. And we're just using the bench kind of as a gauge so you guys can see on camera that he's getting down pretty low here. Okay, and again, we'll just say we're going to do our 12. We can kind of pound these out. I kind of like it so we kind of added weight to the body here. Got your 12 there, Juan. A lot of times I don't count, folks, so I rely on my colleagues to count for me sometimes. Okay, so that was just a nice squat. If you want to add to that, we can put in an overhead press with that, and it makes it more metabolic. And so, Juan, now what I want you to do is I want you just to launch it overhead. Just clear the head. You don't have to do it straight up. Just clear the head, but go down to where the elbows touch the top of the thighs, clear the head, and just come right on down. Right? That's the pattern. Here we go. And we're going to go touch. You're just going to launch that baby overhead. Go right on down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see Juan keep on going, huh? 9, 10. So we're going to keep on going, Juan. Keep on going. 11. So that's your 12, folks. You can stop there, but no. We're going to go with 1. Go with 1. Here we go. Maybe pump out another 8 for a total of 20. And that's 3 of 8. More. And now he's breathing, folks. You hear that? So you got, what, 4 more, 1? So now we can see it's really metabolic. We turn just a nice weightlifting exercise into something really strength and metabolic, and it was almost like a power interval, wasn't it, Juan? How you feeling, pal?
It was hard.
Hard. It was hard, and he's out of breath. Woo! Cable row, 2 variations. We got a really fancy cable machine here, folks. You can use any cable machine you want. Usually in a gym, you're sitting on this little bench and you're pulling this bar in. That's what you typically see. You can have a cross cable machine and do this, or we have this really kind of fancy kinesis machine, which is just cable. So in the common denominators, we're using a cable to row. Not that big of a deal. So we're just going to see Juan do it. He's going to first grab these grips, and you notice they're in a pistol grip position. So Juan, go ahead. We're just going to go ahead and knock out a set of 12. 10 wanted out, 2 sets of 12. And he gets himself anchored here, and he just kind of pulls them in. And notice, we want him to pull it all the way in. All the way in, if you can. Okay, we're going to have him lighten this up a little bit, because I want to see him pull that thing all the way in like a choo-choo train, where you kind of hit the ribs. I want the inside of the wrist palm to kind of hit, in the rib area. So we're going to pull it all the way back one. And slow and control. And almost like to kind of hold and feel the contraction back here. Now this is kind of a lat dominant exercise, folks, when we do this pistol grip, okay? And he's pulling in there, and they're still coming in a little bit short, but that's all right. That's the idea. We want to see if we can get it all the way in and just really kind of contract back there. So really quality of lifts here we're looking for. Okay, about 12-1, something like that. Okay, now variation 2 on this is if I do a pistol grip, we've learned this in our earlier sections in the blue and the green, where if I do a knuckle up, all of a sudden the action is different than if I do a pistol grip. So if this is lat, if I go knuckle up, then I start getting some of these really neat muscles all up here across the back. I'm just going to demonstrate how would we do this on a machine like this. On a cross cable machine, all you got to do is do from pistol grip to knuckle up, but since we can't, but we have other grips up here, so we're going to have a high row on this. And I'm going to cross my hands, left over right, or right over left, and then I'm just going to pull to a high row. And then this is definitely knuckle up. So try that. Just make sure that the grips are like two planes flying over each other. They don't hit. And again, we want to see if we can get the handles almost all the way in to touch the upper outside of the pecs here. And then we can see now that the activation, I'm going to cross camera here, is that now Juan's got a lot more activation up here in these rhomboids and this trap and then these posterior delts. And so I like these two variations because they're going to give you a lot different action on your row. So again, do one set of 12 with the pistol grip, and then one set of 12 with a knuckle up. Looks good, Juan. Called heavy machine row. And now, like typical machines, the machine is going to support your body. In the previous cable row, Juan had to support his own body, which I kind of like, but now we have this machine that's supporting our body for us. So how do we get this thing set up? When you pull in, just like if you were on a crew team, you would pull in when your oar would hit you about right under the bra line here. And, again, we're pulling all the way into kind of the ribs. And what would that look like? You'd try to get your seat set up. That's the important thing. Usually there's adjustments or be shown like in yellow. And this is at the highest seat. So some of these machines are weird. Let's say if I pull it all the way down, where does this thing pull in? That's too high. It's weird. So you don't want to do that. So I want to get it so I pull in where it feels comfortable. And actually, and again, every machine will be different. But again, just think, you're on a crew team, you're pulling an oar. You want it in about here. So now if I do that, and this is on the highest seat setting, so again, for me or Juan, that's as high as we can go. And again, you can see where I have a knuckle up grip, knuckle up grip, and a pistol grip, right? So I've got both variations. What you don't want to do is just kind of hunch over this pad. You know, when you see people rolling like this, it looks goofy. Now, come on, folks. Support your core. You want about maybe a 5-degree layback. Get your body set. My feet are set on these. You have like even a place for my feet. And then when I pull in for that full range. Now, I'm saying to go heavy on this, right? So I'm just going to demonstrate. What if we do that whole stack, and that's 170 pounds? So could we do that? I don't know. So that's a row, and it's heavy. I really want to load up on this thing, and then I'm not going to have Juan do 170, but he can do whatever he wants. I'll let him put in whatever he wants in there. But again, the pad, I don't really need it, but it's there just to kind of guide, and I like to pull it past the pad as I sit with my own body, fix it about a 5-degree set layback. So we just randomly put that pin in there for one, but we'll just see him kind of pull back here. And the idea is, what I'm looking for is that can he get the handle, to the pad or past the pad here. And his body is really set, it looks really good here. And he's just gonna pound out his set of 12. And again, I'm really not worried too much about speed here or anything. We're gonna talk about that later. Velocity of contractions, we discussed it in our push-ups, but we're just gonna have him do his 2 sets of 12. And again, he can do the pistol grips here, but I kind of like these knuckle ups. And why? It just gets the upper back activated a little bit better. So there we have it, folks. And again, you can do 2 sets of 12 here, and those are heavy machine rows. Ipsilateral Bulgarian split squat with dumbbell. Well, that's a lot of words, isn't it, folks? Anyway, a Bulgarian, what is a Bulgarian? One, demonstrate what Bulgarian for us. Don't worry about the dumbbells yet. So really, all we're doing, folks, we're putting a foot, and we like to have the toe, this great toe, bend on the ball of the foot there, right? So that's kind of set on a nice bench that's not going to slip, and then the weight's biased into Juan's left leg here, and yeah, that's really good, Let's just do a couple of Bulgarians. So just warm up here, folks. You're going to feel this good stretch in that quad, and then you're going to feel a lot of work on this left glute over here. Right? Okay. And now, we want to load up on this because we want to get bigger and stronger. So you see a lot of people pick up 2 dumbbells. So Juan, pick up 2 dumbbells for me. Okay. And go ahead and just do a couple for me. And again, we can do 12 one leg and 2 sets of 12 on that leg, 2 sets of 12 on this leg. So you see a lot of people hold both dumbbells. It kind of balances the body out. Okay, that's enough. I don't want to balance the body out. I want these loads on it, one side or the other. So the easiest way is we're going to put one dumbbell down on, and we're just going to hold the dumbbell on the ipsilateral same side as the leg, right? That's the easier way. If I hold it on the opposite side of the leg that's working, it's going to be harder. I've got to resist that torque. But Juan's going to keep it on the easier side, so I have this as the first routine in our red. So that's contralateral. So that's the harder side. I want him to keep that dumbbell on the same side. So now that glute and that load, so go ahead and give me 12 there. And this is our exercise, folks. So it's same side dumbbell. And you'll see later in the red, we're going to put the dumbbell over on this side. So if Juan, he could actually double up that dumbbell weight now because I really want a good load in there. And so the weight you would use for these 2, double up and have that on that same side. So if he's using 17.5, we're now going to be thinking about like a 35-pound or so dumbbell on one side. And let's go ahead, we can use a kettlebell, can't we, folks? So Juan, go ahead and grab something close to a 35-pound dumbbell. And there it is. Wow, look at that. Woo! And it's even red. Isn't that cool? Okay. So now, dumbbells, kettlebell, doesn't matter. So now, let's do the other leg one. Yep. There it is. And now we're going to get this great stretch over in this quad. And he's just doing his ipsilateral, same side as the leg, Bulgarian split squat. And that's all it is. And we can have fun with that a little bit. Okay? And I think that's all I'm going to talk about. We're going to talk about playing on eccentric contractions of that later in another routine. But this just gets you the basic strength and the basic pattern first, and that's all we want. Hey folks, assisted dips. It's vertical push, and in our basic strength patterns, and we can either vertical push up or I can vertical push down, can I? So that's vertical. So assisted dips, I like it. So Juan, what do you weigh?
165.
165. So if you've never been on an assisted dip machine, it's a counterweight, like an elevator. So if he's 165, I'm going to put this thing at 160. I'm going to equal his weight as best I can, maybe 5 pounds less. So get on that thing, Juan. Kind of hard to push down, isn't it?
It is.
His weight is perfectly counterbalanced. He's only pushing up with 5 pounds of pressure. He weighs 165. That thing is 160. And so therefore he's pushing up with 5 pounds of pressure. And it's kind of weird, isn't it?
It is.
So you can, it actually feels good. You can just kind of have fun with this thing and totally counterweight your body. Okay, we'll step off. So always do that first. Never get on there thinking you can do everything you can. So we're gonna, now, Juan, what do you, let's say for you, since you're pretty in shape here, if I put this on 55, he weighs 165. So let's do the math, folks. We did this in first or second grade. If I did 165 minus 55, I get about 110 pounds, don't I? So now, Juan has gone from pushing 5 pounds to he's going to push about 110 pounds of force, right? So, so when you counterweight it, and he doesn't have much counterweight on it now, so he's going to give a good workout. So Juan, step on this thing. And now you can see it just drops much more quickly. And where does it go with him? So what I like to cue is that he's going to have a stretch right here on the anterior shoulder joint. And I like to see about a 90 degree in there. That looks good. And keep on going, Juan. So he's doing 12, 2 sets of 12 with this, right? And then you can go up and weight if you want, whatever. But since, you know, he's a strong guy, we're just kind of playing with him a little bit here and giving him a workout. You all right?
Yeah.
Okay, just give me 3 more. But these look good. Again, the feet are on this bar, it's counterweighted. Really that simple. Machines are pretty simple, but you just got to get them set up right, folks. So again, 2 sets of 12, we're good. Assisted dips. Firemans. It's a one-legged pattern. I love one-legged stuff for athletes and people that want to get strong. We really challenge not both legs, but one leg has to do all the work, and we've got to balance. And there's about 5 leg machines in this room, and this takes the place of about all 5 of them, believe it or not. So what we're going to do is we're going to have Juan step on our bench, and I put him next to something where he can kind of hold on if he needs to for balance and safety, but I really don't want him to touch that. But if he loses balance, again, it's for safety, okay? So I'm going to have him just hang the inside leg right in back of this foot. And this foot's up on the edge of it. So he's just going to stand on one leg and have this foot just hang here, Juan. So this leg is like, it's like a dead leg. It can do nothing. That's the rule. And I'm going to have him go down and just touch his toe to the floor. And that's it. So the rule is you cannot push off with that bottom foot. So push off for me just as a thing of something you shouldn't do, so push off. You see people do that all the time. And that's easy, folks. We don't want easy. We want to burn Juan's biscuit, okay? So let's burn your biscuit here, Juan. Big roast beef here. And again, he's trying not to hold on, and he's but he's there for balance. As you can see it, it's the first time he's done this. And we want him to not push off, just barely just kiss that toe to the floor, folks. That's all you want to do. And again, we can do 2 sets of 12 each leg, and even more if we want. So pretty challenging, right? So all of his weight, we just learned he weighs 165, so all that weight is on one leg, and that one leg has got to balance him while it's going through this action. And then, because the foot is in back, we got our 12 yet, Juan? Pretty close. Okay, you kind of pushed off there. Oh, you shouldn't do that. And again, you don't have to like push up. You just kind of do it nice, clean, like a piston, like a rhythmic piston. Okay. Now let's switch and face the other way, and that's all we got to do. Now that leg is, you just patted it. You know, it's burning, right?
Toast.
It's toast. So we're going to do another set now on this leg. So we got to do, 1 set of 12 each leg. And then we'll go for our second set. So again, he's just kind of figuring it out. It's the first time he's done it, so his body's trying to figure out kinesthetically where it is in space, his balance, his proprioception. You can see this kind of leg shaking. I like it because a lot of the weight here, folks, is in the kind of heel and midfoot, and it's inherently protective of the knee. That's why we like it. You see a lot of people just stepping up on a bench, a high bench. That's terrible. You can get cartilage issues, especially the back of your kneecap, and put too much pressure on the knee. But this way, it's very favorable to the knee, but we really load up all of our system here, all of his hip rotators, and his big roast beef, and the 2 little roast beefs up there, part of his glute complex. And he's shaking, he's working it, right?
Yeah.
Okay? Good. And he's kind of still tapping it a little bit. He's kind of pushing off. There we go. That was better, that last one. Okay? Take a little rest here. So let's just do this thing again, and I'll just demonstrate. So let me get up here. So, folks, once you got the foot, right, and we just tap it to the toe, after we get that, then go to the ball of the foot. So, and again, I can change the risers. So now I'm going to the ball of the foot, folks, and now I can go to the heel. Then I pick the toe up, and I go all the way down to the heel, right? And then if I've got that, I can even go out further and go deeper. Oh, let's watch Juan do this. So again, we're going to see where his strength is. And first we're going to have Juan just tap it with his toe, or kiss the floor with that back leg. Okay? Now we're going to see if he can hit the ball of the foot now. Can he go a little deeper, hit the ball of the foot? There, he's deeper, right, folks? Now, let's see if Juan can hit his heel. Feels like you're way down there, doesn't it, Juan? So here we go. So now we're really challenging him. So now you can see he's actually wanting to push off, so he's not quite there in his strength. There he goes. There he goes. As his body's getting better, he's balancing and he's not holding on, which is really good. You want to try to do this in free space. Only have this here if you need to. So how does this set feel, Juan?
Hard.
Hard. Yes. So he's found the limit of his strength, and we want to keep him even today and give him a little workout before he goes to work and work out.
Exactly.
Okay. Here we go.
Toe?
Yeah. And again, we're going to progress into, so find it for yourself, find it for your client, progress into it, and we're just doing a random 3 risers here, so you can use less risers, have it more shallow. So he's got that one. Let's see if he can hit the ball of his foot now. And you're going to find one leg is stronger than the other, one leg has better balance than the other.
Weaker, I feel like.
So this one feels weaker to him. And you can see that. You can see that was a little bit too much for him. Try to do it again once, see if you can hit that heel. Yeah, so you can see that this is pretty much his limit, and then we want to get his right leg, which is a little weaker than his left leg. So if you've done a lot of bilateral pushing, with your squats and everything is bilateral, try the single leg stuff, folks. It is killer. Assisted pull-ups. I really like this exercise. Let's demonstrate how we mount the machine first. And the safety precautions here. You want to counter your weight. If you've never been on one of these before, what you do is you put this thing close to your weight. So unfortunately, I weigh about 200 and some odd pounds. So I'm going to counter that and just grab the rails, step on up, folks, and then it's going to counter your weight like an elevator. And you're like almost weightless, right? So that's definitely way too heavy. And the counterweight, so we're gonna take some off of this. And so that's on this machine, 85 pounds. Every machine is gonna be different, but we subtract 85 pounds from my weight, and that's a load I'm pulling up. So it's roughly about 120 pounds, maybe 130 pounds that I'll be pulling up. The way I like to do this at first is step on, and then we can kind of do a I like to work down into the pull-up, especially if you're ice cold on this exercise. And then I slowly work down into a full hang. There we are. And now when we pull up, you want to clear the chin, and then again go down for a full hang and clear the chin. So there we have it. One, you're up, sir. And what do you want for a counterweight?
Counterweight, let's do 70.
Okay, 70, so Lon weighs how much?
65.
About 170, so he'll be pulling up around 100 pounds of force, okay? If we put it on 70. And there he goes. So Lon's already warmed up here, so he's just going into a full pull-up right away. And again, we're gonna do about, 2 sets of 12, something like that. And again, he's doing a full hang. He's clearing his chin over that. Looks really good. That's your 12, right, Lon?
Yep.
Okay. So now, because he's a pretty strong guy, he's got a good strength to weight ratio, we're gonna just load him up a little bit. We're just gonna see, what if we put it all the way up to this 25 now? So that's 25 minus his weight, so now he's gonna be pulling up about 140 pounds of force now, okay? So let's see this and see if he can, and again, there's nothing under him really. And we can see, can he clear it? Yep, he's clearing it, that's 2. 3, and if you can't clear that chin one, that's it. And that's it. Okay, he's compensating, folks. So you can see where we've put him way past his 8 to 12 rep max, and that's maybe about a 4 rep max for him. So you can see where you can play with those weights, and you can find that perfect sweet spot for you where you're about 8 to 12 reps. If you want hypertrophy, we want about 3 sets of 12, right? Good to go. Hip hinge, another basic strength pattern. What mammals do, it's very powerful, and it's, you'll see a lot of sports for your linemen coming off, and when we swing kettlebells, but I like to kind of warm up with a thing called a good morning. And we're gonna have one, he's got about a 25 pound weighted bar in his back. I don't want to overload the lumbar ever, especially when he's going to go ahead and he's going to have just kind of soft knees here, and he's going to keep his lumbar fixed in locked in neutral, and then he just kind of hinges forward as he hip hinge. And we can see it kind of go back here. That's his hip hinge. And that's plenty low, no lower than that. Okay, one, I'm going to have you turn maybe 45 degrees this way here. And we'll see it from the camera. Again, we'll do that again. And again, so Juan is locking his lower lumbar into neutral, and then he has his hip hinge. Notice how the shins are kind of vertical, aren't they? But you have this kind of V pattern here, which is that hip hinge. You'll come on up. So we can go ahead and do that, 2 sets of 12, and these are your good mornings. Do a couple more, Juan. And again, the load on the lumbar, always watch that. Especially, and so I don't want to overweight this because, we have this whole body mass up here, plus we have this bar, and we're just kind of warming up and activating and making sure the lumbar knows how to lock in, and we know how to do a basic hip hinge pattern. Like he's almost sitting back on a box, isn't it, folks? Look at that. He's almost sitting back on a box, not going too deep. And you'll know that limit down there, and you'll feel a springiness all in your hams and your glutes. And that was a good one. Good. So this is about 12 or so?
Yeah.
Right. 2 sets of 12, that's enough. Because we really just want to use that to warm up for our kettlebell, which is coming next. Hip hinge, kettlebell. Here we go, folks. So I'll just demonstrate first. We always want to start from a hiked football position. Okay? And then when I pick it up, it's going to go right through my legs, through the back cave here. I'm going to do a quarter turn, and I'm going to power up. Notice how I don't really want the elbow to go inside my thigh. It'll stay outside. Keep my lumbar locked in. All right? And if you have to review kettlebell, go back to the green section where we discussed all this. But just to demonstrate is ooh, ooh, ooh. Let it swing, plop. Okay? So the idea is we produce power out of that hip hinge that we saw in the good mornings, but now we're actually producing power out of it where the glutes and the hams and all this posterior stuff is really working and getting that kettlebell up. It's not an arm exercise, it just swings like a clacker bell, but we're using our power to get it up. So let's see Mr. Juan do this. Again, start with a hike football position. That quarter turn in with the thumb. Once it goes to the legs, everyone. So it starts hike football. Now it's a quarter turn, knuckle up, quarter turn, knuckle up. We want to see those hip bones just thrust. Boom, boom. Those two pointy hip bones thrust across the room, folks. And he's in this kind of nice V pattern. We're looking that he's not going too deep with that. You can do a little more shallow one. Good. And when you're done, let it swing, and plop. Don't stop a kettlebell in mid-swing. It's a lot of momentum. Okay? Out of breath, see? So it's a metabolic interval too we built in here. Other side, here we go, sir. Keep that. Okay, we start from a hike football position. Good. So I'm going to correct him right here. We want to keep his hand here, and it's only when he goes in he does that quarter turn in. So that actually makes the tricep stretch and give you a little elastic potential to swing that kettlebell back up. Here we go. And boom. And just about shoulder height, no more. Just about shoulder height, no more. Lumbar's locked in neutral. Driving with that hip thrust going across the room like you're sitting back on a box. See his shins are kind of more or less vertical. A little angle to them, but not much. So that's different than a squat, folks. What's your number one?
I wasn't counting.
Oh, you wasn't counting. We're going to keep it going. 12 more, 12 more. No, I'm just kidding. Good. 2 more. 1 more. Let it swing, let it swing. Let it swing, let it swing, and plop. Okay? We're just going to go over that one last time. So when you finish, folks, when you know you got your last rep in, I'm going to do 3. 1, 2. This is my 3, 3. Let it swing, plop. And you're ready for your next lift. Okay? Good job. Two-arm, cable, torso rotation. Well, we have our fancy kinesis machine. Again, you can use any cross cable machine. You can just use one handle on one cable. But since we have this really nice kinesis machine, we're going to put both of our cables together, counterweight it. It won't take too much. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it like a tree, bending my elbows like I'm hugging a tree here, and then I'm going to boom, power this baby around. Watch what's happening with my back left foot. It's pivoting in there. And then I go to the other side. And there we have it. You can double count it, you can single count it to 12. Let's just single count it, alternating one.
Okay.
And one's never done any of this stuff here, so
I'll go a little lighter.
go a little lighter.
Okay.
So I just put the two handles together, again, just so you have one point of force here. And then he's got this nice kind of hugging this tree, a little break in the elbows, and then go ahead and just slowly power that baby around. And I want to see more pivot on that back left foot. Do it again this side. Again, really pivot one, really get that thing going. I'm not talking about speed, still have a controlled slow power, but just really get that foot pivoting around. Let's do it again. Better, right there. Okay, good. Through center, get set. This thing is like an alligator. It'll want to wrestle you if you get it heavy enough. And then go to the other side. So I like this full body core. We're putting force from his hands. Come through center one. Good, keep on going, just like that, beautiful. He's doing nice, slow and controlled. He's holding that contraction out there. We're getting his obliques. Let's watch his shirt. Go ahead, do it again. So we're getting these nice, diagonal crease patterns in his shirt, so you know that his body's doing that, the tissue underneath his muscles. And so we're using all the core, all the obliques, right down through the legs. And then, of course, the ground reaction force is coming through his feet from the earth. Good, and he's having a nice, he's exhaling on the effort, which is, we didn't really talk about that earlier, but glad he's doing it now to demonstrate. Again, if you load up 2 sets of 12 just alternating, it's going to be a good workout for you, okay?
Yeah.
And that's we have it. So the torso rotations, obliques, core, whole body, great stuff. Carry patterns. Again, basic human things that we do. We're going to carry 2 30-pound jugs of lime green milk down and back and maybe several times, okay? So it's really that simple. Carry pattern. What we want to do, we don't want to be hunched over. We really want to pull those shoulders back, walk like America's Next Top Model, and walk with some, we got to get that milk down there and back because it's going to spoil. So we don't want to screw around with this, folks, but it's just a good, and for you, max lift people, this is one of your, strength gain things, but we're just starting off with a good weight you can use. Juan's going to do 30 pounds, and then it's really that simple, easy for me. I'm just going to watch him as he stands with America's Next Top Model, and boom, hit a wand, go down all the way to the end. And then what I like to think about doing is keeping everything still, right? Keeping the milk still. We don't want to, so the motion's really translating horizontally. We don't want to do a lot of bobbing, keep on going back and forth. We don't want to do a lot of bobbing necessarily. We just want to do like, boom, just really kind of stride out and have these nice horizontal actions. And just go down and back. And it's really that simple, folks. And if that's heavy enough, trust me, it's going to get you out of breath. And we're good there, Juan. Excellent. Medicine ball overhead slams. Again, a basic strength pattern, release drill. Humans throw stuff, we release stuff. And for you racket sport people and bat sport people, it's all this kind of release and this, quick power. So if we had our kettlebell patterns, if I do overhead slams, boom, there's that hip hinge again. But I'm using my whole body to produce power. And Juan's got a 10-pound med ball here, and he's going to do release drills. And overhead, Juan, and let's see what you got here. Boom. And the ball just bounces enough. And I want to see if he can produce even more power and make that. There we go. Hear that sound? It should sound like a cannon going across the gym floor. It's okay. Go to the corner of the gym and have people look your way because you're making so much noise as you're producing that boom. That potential to kinetic energy of that ball. And then trust me, it's going to be another metabolic interval. Let's do 4 more, Juan. Keeping that power up. That's it. Whew. Crawl patterns, another basic human strength activity. You were babies, you started out crawling, so let's crawl, okay? So Juan's a pretty strong, tight guy. I mean, he's a muscular guy, that's what he does, and I bet you should have stretched a little more maybe in the past. So he's gonna have tight hands, right? Yes, he is, I bet he is. So we're using grips, folks. You don't need grips, but grips help you, instead of going all the way down to touch your toes, we can just stop about there. So it's going to help if you have tight hands, okay? And also on your wrists, it's a better geometry. And if you want to review this caterpillar crawl pattern, go back to the blue section in the animal crawl patterns and really learn it. But Juan has never done it with me before. So I'm just going to demonstrate. Excuse my backside. I'm going to crawl away from you like a little caterpillar. So I'm using the grips here. and I'm just standing, and then Juan might have to bend his legs a little bit here. So Juan, you can just start like this, bend your legs, get down the grip here, right? And then he's going to walk out into a full plank, and then he's going to tiptoe with his ankles and his feet, trying to keep his legs straight as he can as he folds in half. Now he's going to be tight, he's going to have to bend his knees here. And then he's going to go out again. And then he tiptoes in. And he's going to do it maybe 4 times this way and 4 times back. And it's a great stretch and warm up, especially for athletes with tight posterior kinetic chains. There he is. So we're going to have him walk on out. All the way to a plank. And he's going to walk with his ankles and toes. He's going to try to fold himself in half in an inverted V as best he can. Good. So he's doing pretty good there. Good one. You got pretty tight. That's pushing the limit right there, pal. All right, good. So he did pretty good for a guy with some tight hands. He's really stretching them and kind of dynamically seeing where they are. He can bend his knees a little bit in there if he needs to. But he's folding himself in half. Good, and maybe one more one, that'll be good. One more out. And we can hear him kind of grunting and groaning down here, so it takes a lot of effort, folks, using your whole body and moving your body weight through space. So it's not trivial. Good. And one will just stand up, turn around, and we'll watch it come back, okay?
Yeah.
So we'll just get it from a different angle. He walks out of his nice plank. And just think about it, folks. Think about all this great activation in his shoulders, those deep stabilizers, those push-up muscles. And his core has got involved, and his posterior kinetic chain. And he's stretching out the glutes and the lower back and the hams. It's a great warm-up. So if you want a nice warm-up for this entire routine on this page, you might want to start with caterpillars. Who says you can? I kind of keep some of the core work towards the end, but why not do the core work at the beginning? Why not? Great, Warren. That's great. Crawl patterns. Yet again, it's towards the end of the routine here, folks. All the core stuff is here. And if you're running out of time, you can save this for another day. But if you can squeeze it all in, let's try it. So this time we're going to have Juan get into a plank. Okay, so just get into plank for me, Juan. And once you get side to camera, I'm having to get side to camera here. There you go, like this. Yep. He's just getting a plank. And he's going to and he's a crab, folks. He's going to be a crab. How do crabs walk? They walk sideways. So Juan, I want you to crawl sideways this way, okay, in his plank. I'm not going to cue how he does his feet. Just go ahead and move sideways. There we go. He's a crab now. And I'm going to have him keep this crab tushy down. Keep that crab tushy down. There you go. Stay into that plank. I'm going to have him go down maybe, not have him come back towards me. Again, we want to keep that crab tushy down. We're going to walk to the side. You're going to have your clients figure out how to do that. Juan, give me 4 push-ups right here. So you can have fun with your clients. And if they want more work, we can give them more work. Go down again. Nope. Walk to the side, crab to your right. Again, so we're just kind of giving them another metabolic interval if you want. Great way to burn fat. 4 push-ups, Juan. Hope you can see him down there. Okay, come on back. So now, he should be getting a little fatigued here.
Oh yeah.
It's scored. 4 more push-ups, pal. Last four. There we go. He wants to get those things over with. Great job, crab. So, again, crab crawl patterns. We had our first crawl pattern this way and second crawl pattern to the side. And trust me, folks, good workout, good metabolic interval. Ankle touches. Another core exercise. I like these because they kind of get the oblique and your 8-pack muscle here. And we're going to hinge. So the idea is to kind of hinge at the hip area as opposed to doing any type of crunch. I want to keep the torso kind of fixed in space like a robot as I reach towards that ankle. And let's see Juan do it. So he's going to take his right hand and try to touch his left ankle. And he's going to try to lift that torso. Yeah, there you go. And then go on back down. And come on back up one. Good. So he's actually using his left elbow as a little bit of prop to help him get up, aren't you?
Yeah.
And that's okay. I'm going to let him cheat. Normally I want to see him that he doesn't cheat, but that's okay. So go ahead, do it again. Because they're pretty hard, aren't they?
They are.
And I love that. Again, it's a great action for a human being. I love adding the obliques in there. And he's going to do, 12 to one side and 12 to the other. And again, you'll see when we go to the other side how he's using that elbow to try to help him get up a little bit. And that's perfectly fine at the beginning, folks. And if you can get the ankle touches without that elbow and just go through free space, all the better, of course. Okay, other side. There we go. So his body just does a V hinge. We have the oblique pattern. And you can see it with that right elbow, folks. You can see him cheating there. I'm ragging on you now. That's okay.
Try to do it.
Yeah. Try to do without it. There he goes. So he's using a little momentum now, isn't he, to get up, folks, isn't he? He's kind of trying to, boom, he's trying to get that thing up there. I don't care. Cheat, get up any way you can. I call these like earthquake drills. Earthquake, get up. You got to get up. How many more you got? That was it. Fatigue. Blissful fatigue. Good job. Juan, we thank you for helping us today, pal.
No problem.
Excellent. Good work, folks. Woo. Core work. I love plank for core. Side plank in particular, because we really get our obliques and we get this little 8-pack muscle out of the way, which everybody focuses way too much on, I think, but these obliques are for real athletes, so let's get the obliques going. So Juan's going to do his feet stacked. Again, go back to the animal crawl patterns where we go into great detail about regressions, progressions of our side plank, but again, Juan's never done this with me, but he's just going to come on up and notice his elbow is right underneath his shoulder right there. And his feet are stacked, and it's a side plank. And what I like to do is do my bowling balls. So here we go. We're going to have Juan come up in the neutral position here, folks. And then the bowling ball goes under. He's got to arch over. He's got to arch over that bowling ball. Oh, my goodness. And the bowling ball's coming back through. He's got to stay arched. And now he comes back to neutral, just neutral. Number 2, he's going to do another bowling ball. So again, you don't need to have this ball, but it's a good cue for your client, and you can just do this on your own, arch over again. So these arches hang for about what, 4 seconds, 6 seconds? Oh, 4 to 6 seconds. We're pumping that muscle. Here we go. One more time, Juan. Number 4. Oh, geez. And what, that's our 4th time, right? I think. Go ahead, flip it. His other side is fresh. We can go right away. So why don't you have your head over here so we can have the home viewing audience see you, okay? So we're going to cue him again, elbow right under the shoulder. He's going to come up into the side plank, feet are stacked, and we're going to do 4 bowling balls. And here we go. He's got to arch over. Oh my goodness. He's got to stay arched as that bowling ball slowly comes back. And we're going to do it again. Here we go, Juan. Oh, we got to arch over. And it comes back. And again, we're going to arch over. So people that hold planks for a minute, I could care less. Muscles are pumps. They need to pump. We need to work them and activate them. And here we go. And we're pumping them with about these big 6 second, 4 second, 10 second little pumps here. Neutral. We have one more. Are we done?
I think that was 4.
I think that was 4. That's all he wants to do, and that's all you want to do.